My name is Rick Meyer. I play George in the Language Archive. My character, he's a linguist who spends his life archiving languages from rare and dying cultures around the land, while ironically not being able to hold a common conversation with his own wife.
I am Molly P. Myers, and I play Mary in the Language Archive. Mary is a woman who's married to George, and she feels things very deeply. She's a little lost, very lost in her life.
My name is Doug Woolley. I play an old man who's a baker and helps Mary, who's married to a language archivist, and her journey in life. I also play Zamenhof, the inventor or developer of Esperanto.
And my personal hero.
Yes, her personal hero.
I'm Kit Colburn. I play the language instructor. I teach Esperanto. The character is she's very funny and very affectionate and very enthusiastic. I also work with Doug. We work together passing notes, basically, to move the plot forward.
And I'm Janet Nuri, and I play Emma in the Language Archive. And Emma works in the Language Archive with the archivist. She learns about herself and winds up in the same spot, but with a lot more understanding of what she's doing there.
My name is Anne Citron, and my character is Alta. She is headstrong, caring, and loving, and nurturing, but feisty.
Reston and Alta, they are from Elaway, and in this play, we are recording their language to archive it for future records.
She's in a very, very long marriage. It's very loving. Mir nekla sala, which means don't leave me, which is what I love you means to them. And very contentious sometimes too.
Dead to me, into the silence, everlasting void, ever.
They're quite humorous in how they interact with one another.
Ver, usame ver.
Mir nekla sala. All the characters are very well fleshed out.
I think that people will find the characters to be very relatable, you know, all of them in different ways. And I think that they're gonna really see themselves in all these characters.
It resonates with everybody.
And language, of course, plays a very key point in this production.
There are so many beautiful lines from this show.
I have a hard time picking just one.
So many lines that I find myself thinking of in everyday life.
It's a beautiful story about love and life and communication and faith. For me, in my character, is long-term relationships and their complications, but also their beauty below all the complications.
And it's about that common thread that runs through our lives, language and how we use and misuse it and how it's understood and misunderstood, things that happen every day.
I would classify this play as a dramedy. It has a little bit of both, a little bit of everything for everyone.
It's beautifully directed.
I would call it a kind of a fantasy. It's has humor in it and has some poignancy. I guess that's a legitimate word.
It has a lot of humor. It is poignant, but it's very funny at times, and just like life, you know.
We have this beautiful setting to work in. Doug has a line about how what is language if not an act of faith, but theater is the same way. Live theater, we trust each other, we're trusting our audience, we're trusting our environment to challenge us and for us to be able to rise to that challenge. And I think that makes things a little more interesting.
What's the play about? Food,
Love, communication.
communication,
L-O-V.
Communication.
L-O-V-E.
relationships. Work too. Actually, work.
Right.
There aren't that many plays
right.
about work, and I think that that's
Right.
a really interesting thing because it's
Besides
such a big
Chekhov.
part of our
That's right.
lives.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah, and all of our characters are kind of defined by our jobs. Even Zamenhof, we
Yeah.
talk about being an
Yes.
ophthalmologist, and he does his job on stage.
That's
So,
right.
And even
Professor,
Octa, you know,
Okay,
her
yeah.
job is to cook.
We had the funny
which
bread
ones of
bun
us
with
have
Janet.
to eat on stage? You do. You
I don't have to, but I think I will.
I try to get
Probably
everybody
will.
to eat on stage.
for sure.
It's a story about relationships and about communication. It's got some uplifting and warming elements to it, and it's just a really well-written piece.
I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful piece by Julia Cho. I love this place so dearly.
I imagine that the audience will be very attentive because it's such a well-written play, and I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. If you've
Yeah,
ever never
now-
seen a play by Julia Cho, you definitely need to see this.
And let's stop sitting at home. Let's go and see some theater.
Yeah.
Let
Let us tell you a story.